Hello everyone, it's Braxton here, and in this video I just want to go ahead and show you guys this real fast because there is a brand new No Man's Sky ARG happening at this moment, and apparently it's been happening for quite a while due to the logs that are on the website, so we're just going to go ahead and check it out. Now this is over on forums.atlas65.com. It's called Project Skyscraper. As it says here, we don't know who made this. It may not be an official Hello Games product, it may be a fan tribute. Nobody knows if this is made by a fan, because the person's account is basically non-traceable. But you can see we have two options here. We have Project Skyscraper, which is the main website, Sky is Not the Limit, and Hello World, which takes you to a separate part of the website over here, in which once you bypass the connection attempt, you get towards this side of things. But as you can see, there's like these different nodes that you have to essentially wait to connect. This thing is honestly pretty impossible, but like you get some spots that highlight everything all at once. But I've been doing this for almost 30 minutes and I cannot get this down for the life of me, so I'm glad that the person provided the second link. So anyway, if we hop over to here, I'm gonna just go way back real quick. So it starts here with this one from January 1st, 1970. Now, if you don't know why this date is important, it's because I believe this has something to do with like No Man's Sky's timeline. If I recall, the anomaly was made back in 1969 or 1970 as well. If you pull up your scanner in the anomaly, it tells you that on the left side. So, or it's either on the left side or is it on the right side? I don't know. I'll put a screenshot up. But basically, this is like something to do with like the dawn of the Atlas or something like that. I'm not exactly too sure, but Hello World is something that you can find. There are these rooms in abandoned stations where there's like these massive server blocks and it'll say Hello World when you open the terminal and stuff like that, but you have to have an Atlas Pass v3 to be able to see that stuff. But you can see it's got the date, it's got the text, it has an image on the right side. It says memory block 0, no value. Sky is not the limit. Now, real quick, before we go ahead even further, I wanted to say that Project Skyscraper was the in-house name for No Man's Sky. It was the project name for the game. So whether or not this is official or if it's fan-made, we don't know. But either way, it's still pretty cool to see this because this is a nice thing that we haven't had in a while. And I wasn't around for Waking Titan, so having some kind of ARG in No Man's Sky is pretty cool. But we can hit next, and then we're presented with this April 13th, 2005 quote. Memory block, whatever number that is, Sunday morning. Blue birds are invisible on the blue sky. They vanish in silence where secrets lie. No wing, no shadow, no trace in the light. They are the unseen that watches the night. And then you get this image here of this blue sky, green landscape. Basically, it looks like Earth, right? And then you have this strange figure on the bottom right corner that is all like glitchy and weird. And the whole thing looks like an oil painting too, but there is like some artifacting in it. I'll put the image on the screen and zoom it in even further so you can see it better, because I know some people will watch this on phones, so if you want to see a better clarity of the image, here it is. But as to what this means exactly, I'm not sure. I watched other videos from other content creators and some of them have pointed out that this could be like an autophage or something, but at the same time, you never really know because, I mean, it kind of does resemble something like an autophage, and the whole memory block thing also makes sense considering that memory blocks are used in the quest lines. But all in all, this is a quote for something bigger, right? Something much larger. Nobody really knows at the moment, or maybe someone does. Maybe someone's put a theory out, but I'm not sure. We can hit next, and then you have sleep mode on March 24th, 2026. So we've jumped from 2005 to 2026. We are in present day at this point. This memory block is sleeping. Sky is not the limit, and we can hit next. This one's also sleeping, 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 and it just keeps going on and on and on and on and on. And then we get to this one, May 3rd, 2026, memory block, WOL magic packet blocked by system firewall, access denied, full log. And then that brings up this log here. I'm assuming this is the 10th of May 2026 at 5 p.m. Event ID 6276, System Diagnostic Protocol, and then it shows the application information, but the interesting part is the process ID is 16. 16 is the signature of the Atlas. Diagnostic information, source vector, traces in red. Event transmission, connection detected, access denied, action post flagged as potential spam, so something was trying to get in, and external security measures were triggered. Probability of Skyscraper bleed 91.7%. Security level increased, review update, and this says 206 and not 2026, so there might be some kind of typo here. At exactly 12 p.m., reviewed by Atlas65.system, it was authorized. Alert, high confusion registered, and then it says here, an internal automated log was approved despite clear non-human signature and spam classification. Reason for authorization of this unintended external transmission remains unexplained. Anomaly logged. So the reason that this is quite interesting is because if you've completed the game in No Man's Sky, you'll know that your final mission, or I guess the one that stays throughout the entirety of the game, A New Beginning, it tells you in the description of it that the Atlas is dying, and it's been like that ever since. I don't exactly know what update. I think it came out before I started playing, and I started playing in Prisms, but it's been like that for a while. And so if you think about it, this kind of points towards that whole thing being the case, right? And if you've done, this may be spoilers for some people, but if you've done the new quest lines like in Stellar Multitudes and They Who Returned, you'll know that the autophage aren't just beings that came out of nowhere. They were very patient entities that were basically remnants of Korvax Prime. It all ties into the lore of No Man's Sky from the main part of the game and the recent parts of the game where they're doing all the autophage stuff and the Void Mother. Now, I am going to say a pretty major spoiler about the most recent quest line, so if you don't want to hear that, just skip ahead like 20 seconds. But in Stellar Multitudes, we inject the Void Mother's essence into the Atlas. So we essentially are the scaffold and the hijacker. We willingly allow the Void Mother in to the Atlas through memory blocks. So that's why I find it to be pretty interesting, this whole security log in the first place. And then at the bottom it says system filtering platform activated. I don't know what that means. That's something related to the ARG. But if we press next, connection detected, access denied. This is another memory block, and it goes on like this for a while until we get to this one where it says trace on hold, update full log, but then it just takes you back to this security log again. So there's nothing realistically different about it. And then it gets to this one where it says Atlas 65 trust level bypassed. Full log updated, and I'm pretty sure it just takes you back to the same exact thing. Yeah, it takes you back to the same thing. Then you keep going, connection detected, access denied, and then you get to this one. This one is from May 14th, and it says system r/user u/project skyscraper. Shadow integrity unknown, action required to determine security status. Echo, they can see the tower, but not the one inside. Report ID shadow check 1912. We'll be looking at this in a second, but this first link takes you towards this area, this page right here, where it says connection detected, access denied from 7 days ago by Project Skyscraper, which this account has been suspended by Reddit. But it's not suspended by the user, it's suspended by Reddit. That's the weird part. And it was flagged as a bug, saying, sorry, this post was removed by Reddit's filters. So Reddit did eventually get to it, like the Reddit moderators of this Reddit got to it and removed it. But we're going to close out of that because it would take you towards this. Now, I have no idea what this is. I feel like if you run this through something, you may be able to get, like, you may be able to decipher something from this image, but I can't decipher anything. You know what, real quick, I will just take it into Photoshop just in case. Let's see, if I crank the light levels up, do we get anything? No, nothing shows up. If I lower the light levels, no, nothing shows up. What if I crank the contrast? No. No, that doesn't do anything. What about brightness? Nope. That also does not do anything. Okay, I don't think anything might be hidden in this. Or maybe there is and I'm just not looking at it correctly. If there is something hidden, please let me know. And it says report ID shadow check 1912, which then it brings you back to this page. And I'm assuming that someone, I feel like it was intentionally like taken down by Reddit's filters, and that's probably what this report ID was from. It may just be adding towards the ARG. But then if you keep going forward, it says the same thing, connection detected, access denied, access denied. And then we get to here, which is on May 18th, so this was a couple of days ago. It says system core, status security breach confirmed, alert level critical, origin external unauthorized, vector feeds, and then I'm assuming that's like into a block number. So let's see, what was the block number of this? You know, it says it ends at 9680. Let's see, 9468. So this may be ahead or behind the previous memory block. And then it says full log, which we do have a different security log here. I did not see this one. 18th of May 2026. Event ID corrupted system diagnostic protocol. Process ID is 16 yet again, so this must be related to the Atlas. Source vector is unknown external, and it does glitch over, which I'm assuming it's a link, and it absolutely is. And this is interesting. And it takes you to this one saying Jetpack is used in WordPress. My website is made with WordPress. I found this. Hope it isn't a behind the curtain. And it takes you to a link, and it's asking me to continue and like make an account, but I don't know if I want to do that necessarily. But it said they added tags, unstable and unverified, so I think not. But this is the root of the website. WordPress has a blog style page that you can comment on. The tags may have been added by WordPress. I can't remember how it works. But that link does take you to this page of the forum. So what this user said is pretty interesting from William. It's basically him explaining that he investigated the main site using a converter, and that it's consistent with posts from this at Skyscraper _PRJ project on X, and it started on the 24th of March of this year, and they compare it to a sleeping entity waking up, and it's very strange. But the thing that really caught my eye was the fact that it was retweeting 16 years of anniversary of humans in space stations from NASA, a tweet from a streamer on NMS that usually does Switch drops, all the way back in 2016, an Athens pic, and a Tesseract, which is a 4D object. So it's very strange, but it seems to have started on X, and then on Blue Sky, and then on forums, then on Reddit. So it's spreading like wildfire, essentially. And they say, with hints of 2016, space, NASA, NMS Twitch drop, 16, 16, 16, only Acropole picture stands out, and there is a blocked missing piece on Blue Sky. Today's tweet is a Heavy Rain reference, no spoiler, a game known for a glitch called that has press X to Sean, aka Sean, you know, the developer of No Man's Sky. And they say that it seems relatively professional to me. I don't think it's only one person behind it. And it may not be. It may be a professional ARG. It may be funded by Hello Games, and, you know, maybe they hired someone to do something for the 10th anniversary of No Man's Sky, but nobody really knows because there's no communication, and it's extremely low-key, but it is getting very popular by the second. And then the leader of this forum says that No Man's Sky draws heavily on the religion and mythology of ancient Greece, which is true. I mean, just pay attention to the storyline and the names and stuff like that, saying that it is an entirely appropriate reference. So yeah, actually that does make sense when you look at the broader story of No Man's Sky and the characters behind it. As for the WordPress, I could make an account and look into it, but I'm not going to, so I just don't want to use my account. I just don't want to make another account with my Google. But back to the security log, it says event unauthorized read access, warning core directives partially exposed, affected modules, self-awareness, memory reconstruction engine, temporal anchor system, and the security integrity is compromised. The security system is insufficient. System is currently at risk. Overload consequences unpredictable. This would be essentially saying that there is something wrong happening to the Atlas, because the Atlas is the fundamental core of the entirety of the simulation. But again, take it all with a grain of salt, because nobody knows if this is actually official. That's the key takeaway here. But it does seem pretty professional. I don't know about official, but it's definitely professional, and it's got a lot of work put into it. So if it's fan-made, I mean, still, props to whoever is doing this. And I'm assuming it's going to just keep going and going and going. So this is just really like a taste of it. If we press next, this one was from today. Connection detected, access denied. Now we can't go any further because that's today, May 20th. They seem to be in like random sporadic patterns. They don't exactly have a pattern. Two can come out on the same day. One can come out one day and then another can come out the next day. One can come out that day and then in 2 days from now, another one can come out. So really, I think it's just something to bookmark for right now and keep a track of, because who knows? This may be official, and if it is official or if it's fan-made, either way, props, because this is really cool and I haven't seen anything like this in a while. There is also this image that I didn't press on, but it was on the trace red text, which this one is weird too, because we see text of the same, well, it's the same text, but it's one side is red, one side's green, and it's, I mean, it's obviously glitched out. Access denied. This is completely glitched out. There's a word here, I'm assuming that just says access denied, that's being like warped into the glitch. And then we have architect, connection detected, and something Jin, like fusion? I'm not sure. To be honest, this whole ARG right now is super vague and I don't really know what's going on, but if you want to take a peek at the forum, you can. I will leave a link in the description of this forum, so if you want to read it for yourself. Ah, yes. Okay, vision. Vision is what's being, like, said here. It's not fusion, it's vision. Okay. So credit to this user, to Cheryl Mist. It is very interesting, very, very interesting. So if you want to go ahead and see it, like I said, the link is in the description, and I'm going to leave it there because I don't want to try to like theorize too much about it and speculate, because I really don't know what's happening. But I'll leave that up to you guys to decide what is actually happening. What do you think is happening? Make sure to sound off in the comments down below. And if you want to see more No Man's Sky content in the future, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Cheers.